2002 Nissan Frontier. She an old school, and I'm gonna put it this way: this truck been sitting for 3 years, so the engine bay is actually a little tighter than what I originally got it. It's gonna get detailed after I do my part and getting everything running like it's supposed to. But so far, it's basically just getting this old truck running. The guy bought it for $100, and I'm gonna tell you, it was worth $100. It's got some minor damage in the front. My guy did do those wheels, so trust me, it doesn't look nothing like this. I'll show you the interior of this truck. I got a lot of nails out too, and it was horrible. It's broken glass and everything back here because the window got busted. So, but I'm more excited on seeing what happened after it get detailed versus me doing my part, just getting everything back running. So from what I was told, he's going to take the seats out, take the carpet out, and shampoo everything, get everything all out. What else? I don't know if I looked at the top of the roof of this thing. So yeah, he's going to do everything in here. That's what I'm like curious to see what happened. I don't care about my stuff. Oh yeah, the back of the truck. I mean, this thing actually, some of my, got the intake, the filter here, the element. This thing, when I tell you this thing is brittle, it is brittle. I mean, I've never seen an air filter this bad before, and it should just like fall apart. But you can tell it's been sitting for a while. But as far as today, I'm gonna put a front crank seal on here. I gotta pull the transmission out. This is a manual, I don't know if you noticed, but I gotta pull the transmission out, put a clutch in it, and while I'm back there, I'm gonna do the rear main seal. So all the belts, everything getting replaced. This harmonic balancer is getting replaced. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's just wobbling down at the bottom once I get it running. Once I start it up and I get it running. The radiator and everything was fine. I pulled that out as the fan shroud wasn't on there at first. That was sitting in the back. So it's always a story. Why did the guy park it? What happened to it? There was condensation, I'm going to call it, mixed with the oil. It was definitely radiator fluid in there. It had water in it. So I'm not sure what happened if the truck ran hot, but it seemed like there's no thermostat in here too. But the truck runs really, really good. I didn't do a gas test. I'm going to give you that. I did not do a gas test in the coolant system. It had an obvious misfire. The system is not bubbling out. It doesn't seem like the head gasket's blown from what I see. I changed the oil and it's not mixing with the oil. The oil didn't look like it was mixed with antifreeze. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I did find an injector in there. It had one of those common injector problems. Got those little cylindrical looking stubby injectors in there. But for the most part, just needed a battery and 2 spark plugs in the back. Those 2 cylinders are missing. And it ran fine. There was a valve cover inside of there, so I did change that. There's a brand new valve cover on here. I do have new spark plugs. I'm going to change these wires too. You can see why. So that's the only thing I don't have in my possession right now is ignition wires, and it runs really, really good. So. But the radiator's out. I'm going to pull this fan off. I got a new fan clutch coming too because this sucks. So it probably could have been contributing to if they had any overheating problems. Also, like I said, the fan shroud was out, so that could have been contributing. Whatever it is, I did a pressure test in the coolant system, so I know it's not losing coolant. It probably just has air in the system. I probably need to bleed out and probably need to put coolant in there because there's potentially evaporative loss from having water in there by letting it run and being idle. I can't drive the truck because the clutch obviously is it works, but it slips really, really bad. You have to let off fully. It'll warm up before it grasps and engages. So that's, like I said, that's going to be brand new, and just going through it and get it running right. This is just going to be just one of his work vehicles for one of his employees. Whew. But yeah, when you get these old vehicles, I mean, they just sit for so long. You just never know what you're going to get. You never know. It's easier than an auction vehicle. I'll put it that way. I'm going to flush this fluid out too. The clutch fluid. I mean, it looks horrible. So when I get the slave slave cylinder out. I'm gonna drain all the fluid, and we're gonna put fresh fluid in there. Other than that, I might not be able to put the fan clutch on today because that hasn't got here yet. All my other parts has came, like I said, from the front crank seal to the harmonic balancer. So I'm gonna the water pump. That looked like it was replaced before. Yeah, I can see sealant back there. I'm gonna leave that alone. It just, I know it's old, but it doesn't have any mileage on it, so it hasn't been used. But you never know. You never know. It was water in there. I should replace it. I know, but I'm gonna leave the water pump in there unless I see it look like it was leaking or anything. And I think that water that's on there now is obviously from me pulling the cooling system off and pulling it in here, so I'm not going to stress out about that. So I think this is, I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm not going to worry about that. But let's tear into it. Get this fan blade off first. Man, this didn't turn out like I thought at all. I don't know, man. This water pump is new. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like just my luck. I put a new one on. It's worse than the old one that's already on here. So. It's belt one. Belt two. The alternator belt. And the belt at the bottom down here. It's going to be the compressor belt. Probably wasn't a good idea. Oh yeah, I was gonna show you how I was wobbling on there, wasn't I? I think I still can. I'm gonna cross my fingers and say I hope I got it, but it'll just wobble side to side because of the harmonic balancer, the groove for that AC belt. AC belt there. I'll tell you, everything is dry rotted. Everything is pretty much dry. All right, so what we gotta do to get this off? I gotta do some figuring out how I'm gonna get this impact gun in here. The condenser is actually pretty bent, so I'll just pushed it back and I got enough room. But this truck was this all bent up here, so it worked out. Just make you a little nervous because you don't want to push that damn thing and spring a leak and all that pressure in there. So this is a 1 1/16 to get this fastener off. So far I only used a 13. Hopefully I ain't gotta use any other tools to get this off. It feels like I don't. I use 13 and a 14 millimeter. I think I'm gonna have to. I don't feel any holes in here. I might have to probably get the new. Might have to use a puller. A 3-inch extension and a smaller one. So I'm gonna try this first before I move on to anything else. See if this works out. Hopefully this works. I don't remember the size for this. Yes, okay. This is a 3/4. I think this is a. This is an approximation. It ain't the right one. Are we working? What we doing? Nope. It's pulling the dampener in the back that holds on to the compressor belt. So hopefully it'll latch on and run everything off at once, I'm hoping. There we go. Just flip the lock itself off. Yeah, well, I think regardless I probably would have to replace this because I'm pretty sure me forcing that portion of the harmonic balancer to move, I'm pretty sure that they actually moved it. That's all I got. So it's got a nice groove in there. So there's our front crank seal exposed. I want to get this area cleaned up a little bit. Just a little bit around here, because I'm going to take it to the the car wash and do what I want to do with it. Because I don't expect the detailer to get everything, but I know what I'm looking for when I clean this engine, so I'm gonna do my part and clean my area. Yeah, it's definitely leaking when I get it finished. to be able to see what in the world I'm doing. It's our front crank seal. I've seen, I want to say I've seen worse. This one isn't brittle or anything. It's I would say it's definitely worn. Alright, so I got everything. And what's interesting is one of the boxes, one of the belts that I ordered was a private label, and it came from AutoZone. I didn't know. I guess sometimes we get private labels, you're bound to probably get anything. Here's our new fan clutch here. This thing is like stiff as it should, so I'm excited to put that on. It did come with some fasteners, some bolts. Other than that, we got here's a new harmonic balancer. No groove worn into it, brand hammer new. And we have a national crank seal down here. I couldn't find this, and I was looking in boxes, but they sent it through United States Postal Service. Oh shit! So it was in my mailbox, and who likes checking mailboxes anyway? All right, let's get this installed, and hopefully we shouldn't have any issues getting it in there. Put the harmonic balancer on, get the belts back installed, and I'm just very indecisive about changing the water pump. I just don't know what the hell I want to do. I'm gonna leave it because again, I'm just concerned. The new one I put on, just my luck. I don't have luck like that. Seriously, I feel like I have the worst luck. I'm gonna leave it on there and roll the dice. If it fails, we can work on replacing it. If because it's not that bad pulling this stuff down. If it don't, then we're in the green. But it's new. I'm gonna leave it alone. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So let's get this seal on here. Golly, let him drop my harmonic balancer. Look, it fell on some boxes. Be there right there. a light film of grease on this harmonic balancer here, and I have grease on the inside of the crank seal. Slide it on here. See how far this bolt will get us. Okay, so I look like I can run the bolt on there and tighten it up in there. On there, I want to get that tight. I kind of don't have no deflection, so I might loosen that up a little bit. Oh, that's a little tight. Oh shit. If anybody can guess what kind of neighbors I got. I got some party animals. Because they all like to have parties. I don't think this is going to affect my monetization. I have to put the fan clutch in place and tighten that joker up. It's cool. Has some custom pickups there. I gotta get this belt back in here, but the screw isn't gonna go back in there. I can this thing up like screwed and strip. I have to walk this on here. Stretch belt. Alright, put this on there. Stretch belt, y'all. Alright, let's get this fan clutch on here. Take this fan clutch out here. Take that one off. New one. This one looked like pretty different there. These are new screws it came with. They're not designed for that. Okay. Am I tripping? So the screws that it came with don't go with it? That's... Well, damn. Oh, okay. You had to go a little further back. Okay. Alright. Jumping the gun. Kind of like the original one with the lock washers on it, but no go. too crazy long. I just got water in there right now because I want to pull the radiator back out and replace the lower heater hose. I replaced the top heater hose. I just feel better because the lower hose is soft. But that fan, that fan works really good. Works a lot better than what it did before. So we'll see how long that holds up. It was a Rock Auto product. I'm going to wrap this up, but the labor time to replace this front crank seal is 2 hours. To remove this radiator is very simple. I didn't get that or put it back in. Like I said, I'm not leaving it in there. But it was just pretty much these two brackets here and here. I just take those off, and once I disconnect the upper and lower radiator hose from the top here, I just moved everything out as a unit. This is a stick shift, so I don't have to worry about any cooler lines. So, but everything works fine. The belt's not squealing. The belts are real tight. There was some things that were missing. I guess when the water pump was replaced originally, whoever owned this vehicle before, they didn't put a nut back there for the alternator, and so that explains why the alternator wasn't, the tensioner wasn't tight to move the alternator back and forth. But I don't know. I might do a video when we pull the transmission out and replace the clutch or just the rear main seal. I might just capture just replacing the rear main seal. Doing the transmission is pretty extensive. It's a stick shift, so it's pretty much cut and dry. But we'll see what happens with that. But I'm ready to see what it looks like once this damn thing get detailed. So I'm gonna have this truck done by next week, and we'll just probably, whatever, if I find something else out, we'll just probably do some updates. But other than that, hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have that reassurance of my work. See you next one.